Hey guys, and welcome to the Senior Study Skills course by Hooked on Learning. Really excited to have you here with us and so happy that you are about to embark on this journey that is going to ensure that you get the future that you really want to have. My name is Marina and I am the founder of Hooked on Learning. I am also the developer of the Study Skills course. I do want to tell you a little bit about the course, but I thought before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about me, just so that you know who the person is that is behind this course that you're going to be doing. Ever since I was tiny, I wanted to do teaching. It just never occurred to me that I would ever be anything else. So from little, people would say to me, what are you going to be one day? And I'd say, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. And that never ever changed. So when I graduated high school, I went off to a beautiful seaside town called Port Elizabeth. And I enrolled in the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, where I graduated with my teaching degree and a specialization in remedial therapy. When I started teaching, I realized that really where my passion lay is with children that struggle academically. So I really worked hard on developing my career as a remedial therapist and helping children that really needed help at school. And about 5 years into my work life, I fell pregnant and I had this gorgeous little monkey who doesn't look so much like that anymore. She has morphed into a beautiful young lady, which you can see here, the two of us together. I'm standing behind her and she's actually studying photography now. And the reason why I actually bring this up is because it is by having my daughter Kristen that I started opening my eyes to what was going on with students. And that's because she obviously brought friends home and they would start talking. And I would listen to the conversations, and sometimes the conversations would flip over to how much they had tried to study and they were still not doing well at school, how their parents were shouting at them because their test marks weren't great and they didn't know what to do because they thought that they were studying properly, and how homework was getting overwhelming for them. And I would take these conversations and I would go back to my students. I was working with middle school students at the time. Now, to listen, this is what I'm hearing. How do you feel about it? And I was getting the same feedback from students that weren't achieving well. They'd say, look, I'm actually just stuck between a rock and a hard place. I try my best, but I'm not achieving. I've got my parents on the back screaming at me. I've got my teachers telling me I am just not doing my best, but I don't know how to do anything differently. And then what happened is I went from middle school and I went into high school. And this is where it really hit home. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. That at high school, I was pretty much a rebel. I nearly got expelled a couple of times. I used to bunk school. My marks were really dismal. I just scraped into getting into my teaching degree. And so when I started talking to the high school students and I got this whole feeling of despondency and negativity towards school, I could really relate because that is exactly how I felt when I was in high school as well. And when students started coming to me and going, no one understands how stupid school makes me feel, I knew that this is my calling. I knew that I needed to do something about it. In taking a look at the syllabi all the way through from primary school to high school, I realized the problem didn't lie with the students. It actually lay with the education system because you guys are not taught how to study. It works for a couple of kids. Some kids are just born with it. They just know how to do with it. But that is a very small percentage of the population. The majority of us need to be taught the skills. Studying entails quite intricate skills that need to be taught. And so over a period of about 10 years, I started putting the Study Skills course together. In 2013, I started delivering it to students. And I was seeing such an amazing improvement, not only in marks, but in the attitude of the students that I was working with, that I thought I really wanted to take this on a wider scale. I needed to reach more students that I personally could do myself. And that is when the idea of the e-learning course came in. And this way I knew I could get to students all around the world and help you to change your academic environment and make it a much happier place and much more challenging and fun place to be in. Now I want to go on to tell you a little bit about the course, but before I do, I just want to reiterate to you that the course is mobile and tablet friendly, and I especially did it to make sure that you guys can access the course wherever you want to, on the go. Doesn't matter wherever you are, you can access the course on your phone or on your tablet as well as your PC. So how does the Study Skills course work? The Study Skills course is broken down into sections, and each section is broken down into lessons. Most of the lessons start with a quiz. Now this quiz is very important because it is going to tell you where you are weak in your study skills and where you are strong in your study skills. So please don't lie on the quiz, because all you're doing is cheating yourself. You need to get a really accurate reflection of where your weaknesses lie. It is only when you identify your weaknesses that you then know how to strengthen. You then know what it is that you need to work on to strengthen your study routine. After you've completed the quiz, it's going to tell you, yes, you really need to work on this lesson hard because this is where your weakness is. Or it's going to say, listen, you're actually quite strong in this skill, but maybe just go through and see if there are any little pointers that you want to brush up on. Once you've done the quiz, download the PDF. And my recommendation is to actually print the PDF out so that you've got it in front of you when you are doing or looking at the video. It just helps that while you're watching the video, if you want to pause the video and complete an exercise in the PDF, it obviously makes it that much easier. And that is generally how the course works. You work your way through slowly, all right? This isn't a race. So stay with the lesson, think about the skill in the lesson, work it, do the exercises. When you can go, yes, I got it, then move on to the next lesson or move on to the next section, but not before that. It doesn't help to race through it, because then you're not going to gain the skills and really make those skills your own. At each section, you will be getting an achievement badge, and that is just to say well done for finishing that section and to encourage you to carry on to the next section as well. In order to make it an all-rounded experience, because I really want to create a whole learning community and not just create this isolated study skills course, I want you to have a place where you feel safe to vent, to ask questions, and to be part of a larger community of students. Join us on Twitter. Our handle on Twitter is Hooked on Studies. You can also join our Facebook group, which is Hooked on Studying. And we're on Instagram as well as Hooked on Learning. There you can ask any questions that you want to ask, get advice, vent if you need to vent. But as I say, we use our social media really to create a larger community where you can feel at home. And also what we're going to be doing is releasing weekly podcasts, which will just help to develop the lessons a little bit more, give you some more insight, give you a little bit of inspiration. Let me know when you guys are going into exams and tests, because then I will do a special podcast just to give you that little bit of encouragement and motivation going into your tests and exams. I'm going to be blogging for you guys as well, just to give you a little bit of extra information and to add to anything. Also, if I get a lot of questions coming my way and I can't answer them all personally, then what I'll do is I'll gather up those questions and I'll either create a blog or a podcast that will cover the main theme and all the questions that are asked. So I'm done with the introduction, and as I said before, really excited that you are on board with us, and I look forward to seeing you in section 1, lesson 1.